There's only one way to start.
The defenders that have performed at VVD's level is Rio, John Terry, and Vidic. I mean, how long are we going to act like this guy's a top striker, man? Champions League final.
We got to the Champions League final and lost to Liverpool. I'm cool. I've accepted that. I moved on.
Worst week ever as a Spurs fan. I
think the most pertinent issue that we can discuss, and I've said that I'm not.
Guy loves a big word.
That's the dumbest thing you've said on this pod. You just said
Spurs
are in turmoil. You know you want to say it. Don't let him press you.
Get 20% off all Manscaped products plus free shipping with the promo code STTV.
Boom, we live, baby. Welcome back to another episode of Stoppage Time TV. We're live in the flesh, live and direct in effect. You already know what time it is. Back from annual leave. What's everyone saying? We good?
We back.
Love that. We said good.
Come on.
Man went international break as a Brit and came back as a Nigerian. I love this guy, bro. You. I love this guy. I love this guy, bro. Man, what's everyone? We all good?
Yeah.
Oh, you laughing at
That's good. I can't lie. That's good.
Oh man, listen. As you know, this show is presented by Manscaped. So hold tight, the sponsor, of course. STTV is the discount code. How the products going for you, man? You still using them,
Bro? I can't lie. I was using it yesterday. Still good. Still good.
We're saying preparing for ladies' night.
Oh, you're dumb. You're dumb.
What ladies'
This
night?
guy's dumb.
Oh man, no, I said how's the products good, innit? Obviously, you know, Fuad's inclusive and that, but that's besides the point. Let's get into it. Without further ado, you already know the score. Hold tight, the 3-point collectors, wherever they are, worldwide, wherever you are. Hold tight, the pending, because your game it's still going on. Pending. Hold tight, the
Got my eye on
pending.
it.
Hold tight, the participants. Hold tight those that did a Mazzoline on the international break. Hold tight those that came back drunk from the international break. Hold tight the oldies. Hold tight the British managers.
Yeah.
Hold tight the man them that get slapped 5-2 at home. Is there any hold tights? Hold tight the man them that are risking their legacy by getting red cards all the time and not you know showing magic that we know that's there. Hold tight the teams that are squandering things at the top. Hold tight the managers that say Mazzolines in press conferences. I think that might be all the hold tights. But let's get into probably all the games this weekend have been pretty decent. The games today, there's been like 4 goals minimum apart from your game. But let's go into the game that everyone was talking about in the international break coming into now, which was Arsenal-Liverpool. And I was quite shocked because apparently this is only the second time Liverpool have beat Arsenal at home for a long time. Apparently they don't really do well there. So I was really shocked. And this is the most amount of goals they've scored against Arsenal.
Really?
Yeah, 3. It's the most. I was really shocked.
I don't know.
I was really
Liverpool's record would have been better.
I would have thought that as well.
It was at
Must have been having a lot of draws.
Emirates.
Are you talking about Emirates?
Yeah.
Oh,
At the
Emirates.
It's been a long time.
No,
No, not at Anfield.
yeah,
As in like at their home ground. Apologies, I worded that wrong.
yeah.
It's I was really shocked by that. But I guess the standout things were a few things. There's a few things that, you know, everyone's gonna see, like, you know, Liverpool looked somewhat decent, convincing scoreline. But there's loads of other things that we discuss that people are not going to concentrate about, which is Mane, his performance in terms just the season, how it's going, how Jota's got how many goals is it? Production, you can tell us at some point. 10. Jota, yeah? Wow.
Decent.
Jota. And he's been missing for how long?
Just come back, innit?
Wow. So yeah, he's doing that. Pop missed. It's not Pop missed. He's not performing. He's just
Travis Smith.
Travis Smith, you like that one, isn't it? Man, like Travis Smith is just coming on with headbands, captain and that looking.
Hey, that trim, brother.
Listen,
Lord.
what was your thoughts on the game and what this means? Because there's been so many things drawn up. Liverpool obviously getting close to this top 4 race. They're kind of restoring somewhat of a feeling they were used to last season, getting ready for this Madrid match, right? On the other side, you've got Arsenal fans discussing a lot about their future with, I think a stat came out about 50 games for the last managers in terms of Arteta, Emery and Wenger. Arteta's at the bottom of that and they're really going to hammer about that. Yeah. You've got this civil war going on about Xhaka, which is very interesting. It's like, of all things. You've
Of
got
all
this
players to fight.
yeah, it's the civil war. You've got this ongoing conversation about is Aubameyang fit enough to be a captain? Is Lacazette the striker that we need, etc. So there's a few different like parallels that are coming up. But first and foremost, what was your thoughts of the game?
I mean, I wasn't surprised by the result, to be honest. I mean, for me, Liverpool are starting to look like now, well, after that game anyway, they look like an actual top 4 contender. I think between Chelsea and Liverpool will be between them two for me, that 4th spot. But I'm not surprised by that result. Arsenal kind of just looked off the pace, kind of withdrawn. I thought, what's his name? Gabriel, for them last 2 goals, looked like an absolute joke. Like, when you think of kind of how Lille have blindsided Arsenal over 100 mil, I think that's Nico Pepe and Gabriel.
What, Lille?
That's like daylight robbery. You see what I'm saying? But
they
got both of them from Lille.
both of them from Lille. Like,
And Lille are top of the table. Well, it's a 4-team race, but they're top of the table right now. They're managing all right.
For them, even Gabriel, I think he was only a starter for them like 6 or 7 months. Like, it was a thing where Arsenal just jumped the gun on a bit of form, and maybe, I don't know, Arsenal fans, I know they love to big him up and say he's one of the best centre-backs in the league, but bro, those are the kind of games where against an off-form, as we say, front three or whatever, you should be looking dominant, and you actually look like the weak link, and you've got Rob Holding next to you, which says a lot. Do you know what I mean? So, but I thought Liverpool looked good yesterday. Kind of credit to them. This was the kind of game where you kind of need to make a stamp and kind of 3-0 dominant scoreline. Do you know what I mean? I thought Trent, was it for the last goal? The whip on that, incredible.
We know that's what he can do. Right?
That's
you know that's what.
But that's and I know Klopp after the game was talking like, that's Southgate's decision. It was like, mate, pump the brakes a little bit. Yeah, like,
we know what he can do.
Trent, I think Southgate was right not to select him. The options he's got there right now, Walker and what's his name, are better. But that was a game where Trent, I felt like, looked back to his kind of self, and Liverpool looked a little bit kind of back to what they're supposed to be.
What are you telling me?
Yeah, I feel like the same, man. Just echo what he's saying. I feel like when you look at the result, doesn't really surprise you. Do you know what I mean? The result doesn't really surprise you. To be fair, actually, when I went into this game, I thought, for some reason, I was thinking maybe Arsenal can get something out of this game. You know what I mean? As you said, a front three that Salah's top scorer, but you don't feel like they're firing. Mane's not. Obviously, Jota is like
not to their standards.
Yeah, but you thought maybe, but then Arsenal, they didn't even have a. They had like 3 shots. So you got the stats. You might have the stats. I'm sure in the first half there was like barely any shots or anything, something along them lines. Yeah, but when you look at,
they had 3 shots whole game.
3 shots.
Do you know what's
that's what I mean, and that's at home. But when you look at Liverpool, I feel like with what Fuad is saying, they're now 49 points. Spurs 49, you 51.
51, yeah.
That's a proper top 4 race right there. Obviously, West Ham are involved as well, but it looks like they've now got Fabinho's gone back in midfield. Thiago looks a bit better with Fabinho next to him. So let's see. But then this is it's not like anyone has come back. It's not like Van Dijk's come back. It's not like anyone's come back. So really and truly, when you look at what's gone on in the season, if Klopp had trusted them young centre-halves at the back for longer in the period of the season and had Fabinho in midfield alongside Thiago, Liverpool might have been second place this season, but he didn't trust his young centre-backs, put Fabinho at the back, or did whatever he did.
Do you know what's an interesting one for me? Because it's Kabak and it's not Phillips, right?
That's fair in your defence.
No, I hear you, but like with Phillips has been doing, like, you can't fault him. He's been doing what he's good at. In terms of his defensive skill set, he's winning the challenges, he's getting rid of the ball. Like, he's doing what he's good at. But in this game, this is a game where you would think that someone like Aubameyang or someone who like Lacazette, who's kind of taken that mantle on a little bit, like, we have to give him some credit. He's actually showed up a little bit for Arsenal in recent times. You would have thought that Arsenal would have tried to test those 2 centre-backs. Yeah. And I didn't really see anything. And for me, that was worrying in itself. It was like, because even Liverpool fans were saying before this game, they thought that this would be a game where that centre-back partnership would be tested, and it didn't happen. So for me, I get what you're saying about trusting players within their positions, but it might be like what we've always said, sometimes in football we just overthink things. Similar to, like, can we just change our system to make sure we don't defend better? Sometimes you just overthink things, and it's like, you know what, Fabinho's been great. I think you even came out and said Fabinho might be I don't want to misquote you, not Fabinho has more impacts than VVD, but you said something like, so
as a centre-back basically. But I think him moving back into that midfield has been over the last couple of games for them has been one of the biggest important factors. Like they looking back to some form of themselves, I feel like. And him, I felt like nullifying Odegaard as well. Like he's one that's been on fire for the last couple of games and looked like their kind of creative spark. And if Oba and them aren't delivering, and Fabinho pretty much extinguished anything he tried to build. So credit to him.
At the same time as well, sometimes it's like we said a few weeks ago, I said I wouldn't write Liverpool out of the top 4 race yet. Because at some point, you're the champions. At some point, it's going to kick in like, boys, what are we doing? We're better than this. And it might take a little thing like Fabinho going to midfield, or it could just be they are the champions at the end of the day. They're a good team. They've got some quality in their team.
Yeah.
Eventually, you're going to have to show it. And now, I think, I don't know who's going to finish in the top 4. It's a tough one. But now I think it's going to be hard for them to drop many points because they're going to have this mentality now of,
let's just see
like, okay, we beat these, let's just keep going. Yeah. And okay, we know no matter what happens with Real Madrid, I think Liverpool can continue to truck well. So someone like Chelsea are going to have to be, for me, pretty consistent if you're going to get the top 4.
No, 100%. We're going to Chelsea shortly. The other captain stuff.
The what?
People talking about Abba's sort of profile as a captain, whether it's the right.
Yeah, but listen, wasn't I laughing my head off when I saw that he got given captain? For me, he's just, I don't know what this Pop Smoke trim's going on or whatever. I don't know what's going on with all of that. Like, that's international joke. Like, do you know what's crazy there? It's like,
it's the headband I've got to.
Yeah, it's like, it's actually becoming mocked. Like, commentators are taking the piss. Like, everyone is taking the piss out of it. But that's the side stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know why? On the pitch, similar to the Pogba thing, though. It's similar to the where you're getting fancy trims and all this when you're off form. They feel like they might be getting onto him. But the thing is, I feel like it's going.
But Aubameyang's trims have never been 30 anyway. We're going on like he had like a buzz.
Stoppage time.
He's had a Mohicans and shit.
Man said his trims have never been great, to be honest. Bro, if you look at the side fade, it's not the best gradient.
He's had like zigzags and Mohicans like his whole career. So it's like,
for me, it's never the trim. It's more about like when your manager drops you ahead of big games because you're not turning up on time and everything, and that's becoming a thing that's discussed loads. And your impact, for me, you can be a captain that's not informed, but your impact is still evident. This season, is it safe to say that Aubameyang's impact to what he usually is to Arsenal has not been the same?
100%. But then the thing is,
for me, that's where it's kind of like,
But that's what happens when you give the captaincy to your best player and not to the leader of the dressing room. Like, I feel like when I don't know who their leader is. I think that's been the biggest question at Arsenal for the last how long? Decade, maybe you could ask that. They've had a lack of leaders and that spine and grit, if you like.
Well,
but Oba, I felt like they felt at the time, he's our best player, he's our goal scorer, we can kind of put the club on him. And it's like, nah, 32, got his bag now, he's secure, you don't.
A lot of the times nowadays, though, because there's lack of leaders, that we all say there's lack of leaders in the game, best players are becoming captains. Like Hazard's captain of Belgium. I don't see him as a leader, in my opinion. You've got Messi. I don't see him as a leader.
But then can you be upset later on down the line?
But do you know I don't agree with this? Do you know I don't agree with this argument as well? Because there's different type of captains. You've got people that lead based on just their performance. Like, I can't rally you up, but I'm going to perform to my best ability, and then you follow suit. Like, do you get where I'm coming from? Yeah, so like, I disagree with that point, but I feel like what the issue is with Arsenal is, we've spoken about it before in terms of the Koscielny thing, in terms of the Xhaka thing. I just feel like each time they have someone, he ends up getting demonized by the fans or whatever happens. Like, we can't, okay, Xhaka had bad spells and everything, right? But to what it seemed like, Xhaka was the one guy that was always, riding out. Apparently and being there.
They said that they say that he's a leader in there.
You get what I'm saying? But what happened? He was demonized. With the Aubameyang thing now, I can't testify to anything because I haven't heard anything.
I don't know. I wouldn't say demonized.
His impact, my thing is, his impact has not been there. Last year, was it FA Cup they won last year?
Yeah.
In those last few games, I saw his impact. Throughout the season, we saw his impact. Golden Boot season, like, we saw him coming up. Even when we said he was stat padding, he was still scoring. If you take the scoring away from Aubameyang, what is he offering you? Something we've always said as a footballer. He doesn't offer you anything more. So in this part of his career and this type of season, I think, you're not offering goal scoring. And that's the one thing we look to as a captain to show the way. It looks a bit funny. The person that's really carrying is a young number 7 Saka. And it's like, what? You don't make him captain. And then Arteta, everyone says that, you're like you've coined, your team is a reflection of yourself. Then what does that mean for when you look at Arteta? It's a hard situation for them.
The thing is, I don't think it's much of like You know what? It's not much of a captaincy issue. Like, I know you're saying about their captains, but their captains are usually Arsenal usually go down the best player route.
Yeah, of course.
Take away Vieira, Arsenal went Henry, best player, Fabregas, Young, best player, Van Persie, best player, just the best player, take captaincy.
Yeah, of course.
So that's just how Arsenal have been doing it, really. But those players were actually good enough to move on at a point, whereas Aubameyang signed his new deal or whatever. I don't think it's much of I'm not looking at it as much of like a captaincy issue.
Oh no, let's get this clear. We're not talking about in terms of Arsenal's form in relation to captain. We're just talking about the conversation about people now questioning Auba captaincy, and he's just element at the moment.
Yeah, he's just way off form. And this is the thing is, look, this is why I always say, at the end of the day, you've got to go back when you haven't got. When you guys know I've always been critical of Aubameyang, yeah, and that's because his foundations of what he is, I just don't think it was great. And now exactly what you're saying, take away the goals, people are saying, what is he? Yeah. And it's so, the way they've turned so quick on him, right, shows me you guys never really thought he was that good anyway. Because if let's say for me, for example, if Rashford goes on bad form, it's going to take me a while to be like, oh, actually, Rashford's dead, you know? Because I think he's hard. You with Kane, you with someone at Chelsea, I don't know. I don't know, but you know what I mean?
Zuma.
Kante, let's say. It'll take you a while for you to say anything. But the U-turn on Aubameyang, it's like, I even done thoughts on Aubameyang on Twitter or something. The way people are like, he's shit, get him out, we're better without him. But it shows me that regardless of when he was scoring, you never truly in your heart thought he was that good. Because your U-turn is far too quick. He scored 14 goals or 12 goals this season, 9 in the league. All right, he's having a down period. But for them to turn on him that quickly makes me look at the fans more than it makes me look at him. That's just how I see it.
For perspective,
then as well, though, but then is one thing I noticed as well, when players aren't performing, like managers often get looked at, is Arteta putting Auba in the best situation to be his best?
Arteta's just, let's not.
Like,
Arteta's
for
lost
perspective,
21 games.
For perspective.
Because if we're saying he's the lowest of all the ranking managers, Arsenal fans aren't happy with him, then is it a case of
Arsenal fans are happy with him? That's the manager.
No, I think
there's sections of him, of course, that want to see the project, but
again, I don't even know if it's. I think it's come down to is
because I know if it's Kane, people will look at Jose.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking,
do Arsenal play good football?
No. But this is what I'm gonna say. I think we had Troops here, right? And I asked that question. I said, where do you think Arsenal should be? And he said, boy, I don't know. I think a lot of Arsenal fans are coming to the realization that their club is not what they think it is. But in terms of how they, demonstrate that, it's not the clearest. Like, people are not talking about Arsenal in big games anymore. Arsenal doing this or Arsenal doing that. Like, you still get your Potter fans that are delusional and they're going to say, you know what, top 4 race is still on. But I feel a large majority are slowly realizing, you know what, this is our new reality. Like, if we sack him, who are we actually going to get? Yeah. Everything that the opposition fans have said for so long that Arsenal fans have fought back at, and maybe rightly so, because you have this privilege of historically being that team in that situation, they are starting to realize that this is their reality. They are level on points with Leeds. Yeah, but that tells you like what is going on now.
Yeah, for me, the reason why I have to laugh it all off, right, is because like the reason why I can't give any sympathy and stuff. When I was saying, it's like, do you guys even rate Arteta? Do I feel like I care more about Arsenal than their fans sometimes? Well, let me speak for the ones that still want Arteta in or whatever. I'm just gonna say, these are all the shouts that I've been taking in this season. Yeah, Twitter, all these stuff. Gabriel, and this is just for Man United. You guys can probably relate it to Spurs. You can probably relate it to Chelsea. Gabriel better than Maguire. Tierney's better than Shaw. Leno's better than Henderson and De Gea. Wan-Bissaka gets mocked every single week. Partey is, he's world class. He's different level. Aubameyang's better than Martial. Saka's better than Greenwood and Daniel James, of course. Odegaard plays more like a real 10 than Bruno. So why are you guys 11th or 12th or 10th or wherever you are? You guys have got all these stuff that are better than Man United. What is the issue there? And I haven't even mentioned the manager. So surely it must be the manager because you guys think you've got a good team. Arsenal believe... Didn't I just read off about... They believe they've got a good team there. Don't now when you start losing, start saying the squad ain't good because half the squad is better than Man United's squad apparently. And Man United are sitting second. And you lot, if Aston Villa win their next game, you're outside the top 10. So are we gonna want? Now they're on top of them. Are we gonna look at the manager, or what are we gonna do? Are we just gonna start talking about Stan Kroenke again? Do you know what I'm trying to say? Arteta's doing a poor job, bro. Like, he's doing a worse job than Emery. He's doing a worse job than Wenger did in that first 50. His win rate is 42%. And the worst thing is, he's lost the same amount he's won. Like, it's not even like, okay, bare draws. He's lost the same amount he's won. And in this whole team that, like, that everyone says, oh, they've become defensively more solid. They've scored 56 goals in 50 games. That's dead. Okay, defensively, you've gotten a bit more solid. What's their Listen, I'm going to get these stats up.
They scored 40 in the league and conceded 35.
Oh wow, that is defensively mad. And where Man United tell me where they are in the league in terms of defensive, how many they've conceded. How good is it?
I'm not going to do the quick maths, but the only teams that have conceded less are Villa, Spurs, United, and City, and Leicester. So they're fifth.
There's an image that I want to get up.
Image? What, you're going to tell production to blow up?
No. I'm just gonna.
Sorry.
It's the
we'll move on shortly, but I understand the sentiment.
I just think you knew what you were signing up for in both instances, both of Arteta being an inexperienced manager and that this might take a while to kind of come to fruition, and then with Auba's kind of captaincy, if you're questioning it at this point now and you didn't know kind of that was kind of his thing when he was coming into it, he was never kind of the vocal leader or the spiritual leader. He was always about performance. If his performances dip, you can't all of a sudden then start saying, oh, is he fit enough to be captain? Brother,
right, let me read
that's what it was based on.
Go on,
so
bro.
just so it's factually correct, 121 games, drawn 12, lost 17. So only 4 more wins than he's lost. Win percentage 42, goals scored 72.
He's above 500.
Huh?
He's above 500.
goals scored. No, he's below 500.
Is he below?
Below 500.
Has he lost more?
Yeah, no, because I was talking about the win rate. But yeah, goals scored 72. By the way, under 51 games under Emery, Arsenal scored 91 goals. Under Arteta, they scored 72. So I mean, bro, they're not exciting. They don't play better football. I don't know what people see. Honestly, I just think the Pep co-sign is holding him down. And because, you know, Arteta, he looks... he's as well, you got to look at him like, he looks like a fucking silver fox, mate. You look like if he wasn't thinking he could be in a
Man said Armani blue jeans.
Bro, I'm starting
Armani blue jeans.
Huh? Yeah, but yeah, you guys, but you get what I'm saying. He looks like a silver fox. He looks like if he wasn't Arsenal manager, he could be in a James Bond movie or something. Yeah. I'm starting to think this is the stuff that is like appealing Arsenal fans to him, because if he was wearing a tracksuit and he
just
like
Tuchel,
if he was just
brand over, basically.
You know what I mean? Like if he was just, I'm telling you, I don't want to say anything because I don't want to get this show cancelled. You know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you now,
we're sponsored. You know, relax.
Lord have mercy. You know what? Perfect segue into other team and different side of London. We've been meaning to talk about the Tuchel review for a while, but this is probably the perfect time to speak about.
We need to go. We didn't touch on Jota though.
Actually, no, yeah. No, we mentioned the thing. I mean, within stoppage time, we've said that he's a baller. So this is not surprising because ultimately, when you put a baller into around better ballers, you'd expect him to flourish.
But
so, what about Mane? You guys, we
Mane. Well, there was a point in time where Mane wasn't that like his performances. His goal return wasn't that far off Timo Werner. Like he's not. Mane's not been present this year. Let's call it for what it is. He's not been present this year. Like Salah's, scored his goals, but he's not been the same. Their front three was starving for so long. Jota has been injured, come back and picked up from where he is. So now what we're looking at is in these big Madrid games that are coming up, are we now looking at Jota to save the day? Like this is someone that's been injured for so long.
100%. They're relying on Jota,
and that tells you.
To actually say he's the key man this season.
Bro, he's
when he was. Wait. When Jota was fit,
he was winning games.
We were like, hold on, yeah, he's got a hat trick in the Champions League. He was their key man at a point, and then he went away. And I know Salah obviously is the top goal scorer, but when Jota was away, it was a calamity. Liverpool were laughing stock for ages. Now he's back. And now we're saying, Liverpool resurgence. So isn't that what a key man is? Or is it, I'm confused. Isn't that what a key man
I
of the
agree.
team
This
is?
season, he's been a major difference maker in their side. Like, that's what they signed him for, and that's what he's actually doing.
Can I add on to that as well? We thought that when the signings were made, we were thinking that, Thiago, like this is just to kind of praise that what he's doing. Because we were like, Thiago, this is Champions League winner. this guy's come from Wolverhampton, you know.
Thiago looked good yesterday as well.
No, I'm just saying in
Thiago
general. This guy's
looked
come
very
from
good.
Wolverhampton.
Yeah.
He was probably maybe the the lower profile signing because
Yeah,
Thiago
yeah,
is Thiago, and this guy's come in and he's just like he's killing it. He's killing it. Let's call it for what it is.
Bro, it's just the systems, man. Systems.
Has he gone up a level since Wolves, you think, or is he just on a
I think he's
wanna
acclimatized
have
to
him
where
wanna-
he is. I think he's acclimatized to where
because
he
he's
is.
still young and I feel like
Yeah.
he's still developing and improving every season.
Probably.
so-
I didn't see where this. I didn't know he could header the ball like how he has. He
Yeah.
scored 2
Well,
headers for Portugal on the weekend as well. I didn't know he
Yeah.
could
I
header
think
like that. So
you know, sometimes like when
You
you
get
make
them
a
short
big move,
strikers who could just head the ball.
what, just put themselves.
Tim Cahill's and that. Nah,
He's a
but
wide-
where,
he's a forward.
No, but the thing is,
An
this
attacking midfield
He's a forward.
nine,
No, he's a
winger.
forward. He's a
is,
forward.
well, this is
he's
where
just-
you got to
he's
give. But that's where you got to give
Credit.
Klopp credit as well as him.
identifying.
Because when you look at him at Wolves, we all could see he's a good player in a Wolves system, which is defensive and under Nuno. So he was putting up not amazing numbers, but he was doing well.
Do you know
And then
what?
now when you go, now when you go to a team like Liverpool, you're going to be in better positions. You're going to be higher up.
Yeah.
You're going to get more touches in the box. So he's
The
translated
caveat
well. He's done
I'll
the perfect
give to
thing.
that though is when he was at Wolves, the one thing that was so clear was this guy's play with Jimenez, the way they link up each other, the way they find each other and everything.
He almost
It
needs
works
someone
really
to
well.
feed off.
So it looks like this guy, like he
needed-
not that he feeds off,
he
but
needed
it's
a
like
link up at
it was a
least,
1-2
yeah.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
We've seen him do it by himself, and that's why I'm like, you know what? Okay, cool.
Do what by himself?
Like in terms of his goals, and everything, I'm just not with like the crosses, but in terms of that early part of the season when he was dribbling and just smacking anything, it's like okay, you're not sort of just bouncing it off. You can literally just own the moment.
If you can shine in teams like Nuno's team, you're a good player. That's how I see it.
Traore?
Attack it as an attacker.
Speak to it.
As an attacker. See, Adamo was never my guy though. That was you man's guy. You know what I'm trying to say? So listen, if you can, if you can shine offensively in a team like that, you're a good. You're a good
That's
player.
mad. Let's move on to Tuchel. So we've been wanting to review this tenure, and of course, it comes at a moment where the most credit where credit's due. Yeah, West Brom. Yeah, the quality of play, the quality of goals. I don't care what Chelsea fan says. It was a red card. Let's
The
not do
first
that.
one was a red anyway. He should have been sent off before he even got the second yellow. He stopped a clear and obvious goal scoring opportunity.
Clear and
It
obvious.
should have been a red.
The second yellow shouldn't have been
Both games
yellow.
against West Brom,
The
he's had a
second yellow, I
merit,
think.
Thiago,
Yeah,
so.
I
The
would
second
have
yellow,
given it-
oh,
I would
that's
have
the
given
type
the
of
second yellow.
that's the type of thing you don't feel for when you press square and then
Yeah,
it delays after.
that's
That's where it pissed me off. Exactly. But-
That's when FIFA started coming to an end. When I stopped playing it. Serious.
But
So I started hating FIFA.
but
bro.
the way they performed, like there was one goal, yeah, where it was a counter, and like it was like tick tick tick, boom boom boom.
That
Their
was the
striker,
Pereira one.
no. It was
Robinson.
Is it dying? Is it? I don't want to say his name wrong.
Diagna.
Yeah. The striker was arriving into the box late behind play, bro, and slid it home. I said, you know what, yeah, these men are just on us. They did a number. Big Sam, that's the third time he's taken the team to Stamford Bridge and won. He just like everything that we've been waiting for him from West Brom, it just came in one day. Now I don't know if they're gonna have any luck for the rest of the season because they probably need that spaced out. But that performance by them was sick.
Because they were better than you guys with 11 men anyway.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You can't blame the 10 men thing.
Yeah.
The 10 men is not an excuse. These
10 men
men
should never be a 5. You shouldn't concede 5 goals.
that shows you how bad it is.
It was they went in. What was it 2-0 at halftime?
It was they scored 2 goals in like 90
the
seconds.
last couple minutes. For me, that was the thing I was looking for. I was seeing how does a Tuchel team react in the
Bounce
second
back,
half. Like,
yeah.
are you gonna
First time they've been down.
first time you've kind of chips it down. Let me
Yeah.
see how your team bounces back, and it almost seemed like second half they just
It just wasn't
threw the
there.
hat
It's
in.
it was
Like,
almost like it was kind of like, you know what, this one's gone. Not like the players were like conserving energy, saying, but it was just kind of like there was almost this belief that they knew that they couldn't get back into the game. And what that made me realize was I looked at this tenure, and if we analyze this tenure, what he's done well is, he came in, he saw the situation, he said, you know what, I'm going to put this play into place. I'm going to look at different players, and I'm just going to try and get us to where we need to, which is top 4 and try and win a trophy. So he comes in with a 5 at the back. We don't concede. And, you know, we're winning the games we need to win. When you now look deeper than that, why has he done that? Werner's not scoring better goals, right? Tammy, he doesn't fancy Tammy. I think he started twice under Tammy.
I can't lie, that's harsh, man.
No,
I can't lie.
He doesn't fancy him.
I'm starting to feel sorry for Tammy.
He doesn't fancy
boo.
him. There's been that.
Is Tammy injured right now?
He was saying he's injured, and they said he wasn't injured. But I feel like when I analyze it,
and I'm like, he's getting bumped still. But anyway,
when I analyzed it, I said he's probably been one of the guys apart from Emerson. I think he started twice, whatever. Giroud, like, will get you the goal here and there, but in terms of the other forward players, they're not goal getters. Chelsea then set up defensively. It then suddenly makes sense. He has seen that this team is not going to blow away teams. So it's like, okay, if we can defend well and get a goal, then we're good. So now what happens when suddenly you can't defend anymore? That's what happened in this West Brom game. The second we can't defend and we can't outscore the other team.
So I'm confused here because then Lampard was trying to play on the front foot, kind of interplay football. Yeah. And Tuchel was coming basically and doing the counter opposite. And for me, even in the second half, I thought, did you think as well he was slow to change the formation? Because you lot went to a back four and you lot looked a little bit better. But then the back five, he just seemed to stick with it.
It was interesting because
even
obviously
though you
Thiago thing happens, Ziyech comes off, Christensen comes on. Okay, cool. You want to keep the back three and you're maybe going to try and push. At one point, I thought Reece James was playing right wing. I didn't understand what was going on there. And then I feel like the Pulisic injury killed him. Because it was like, okay, now I've wasted two guys. Now what am I going to really do? And when you've got a Jorginho who's not in the game, a Kovacic who's trying but defensively is not really doing anything. And then you've got Mount and Werner playing up top. Mount who's going to, do what he needs to do. Werner that's so unconfident that he's squaring the ball. And I don't care what anyone says. He has to shoot it. I don't care what anyone says. He has to shoot.
Yeah, 100%.
He squared it because he was shook. When you've got that, I feel like he said, going forward, we haven't got.
He had trauma. What was it? 4 days earlier against Macedonia, bro. He
and the thing is, the reason why I knew that he was shook here is because the way he squared it. I can tell he didn't even tell Mason Mount that he didn't even say lay off
by force.
Mason Mount tripped over the ball. So like, I feel like he's seen it and he's like, we're not potent enough to score goals. Like Pulisic,
but I don't think he's gone defensive.
No, I'm not saying
you've gone potent. I just think you lot don't have because I still think you lot dominate possession a lot of the games.
No, we do.
And
but
you lot kind
what
of
I'm trying to
control games. The only thing is, I think you lot are lacking that cutting edge, and I don't know if it's.
But I can't hear that though. Like, how can we say Chelsea are not potent? Like, how can we say Chelsea not potent? You got Tammy who scores.
But what I'm saying, he doesn't fancy him. Let me tell you this: our top goal scorers.
30 goals last season.
Yeah, but our top goal scorers in the league. Top goal scorers in the league.
How many did
Jorginho has 6. Tammy Abraham has 6. Those are top goal scorers in the Premier League. Our top goal scorer this season is Tammy Abraham with 12 goals. He's not getting a look in. Giroud's got a few goals here and there, like he had Champions League and everything. But Giroud's not the main person anymore. Werner, in terms of recently, like his work away from goal scoring has been good, but he's not scoring goals. And at the end of the day, if that was any other team, we would slate him for that. We would say, well, hold on, we didn't buy for that. I slated Bobby Firmino for how long for doing that? So if we're being realistic, is Cho going to bang you goals? No. Pulisic is not fit enough to do it. No. Mason Mount, I can't rely on him to score goals. We don't get goals from midfield. At the beginning part of the season, we were doing
Mount scores goals from midfield.
No, but I'm saying potent. Like Mason Mount, like right now, is it fair to say Mason Mount go and scores 15 goals from midfield? Because we're not scoring from elsewhere. It's not. And then you look at the defense. Beginning part of the season, we were doing
that's what Kai was FC for.
This is what I'm saying.
I feel like Kai and Werner
is meant to be creative.
I know. Like we want to do
it's not potency. Do you get what I'm coming from?
Nah, but I know we want to do like the first year adaptation period, and we want to give them time. But the German boys have to contribute more.
No, of course, that's what I'm saying.
That's like a major.
But if they're not, and your manager can see that, I can understand why the way we've played is the way we've played. I understand that.
I don't know if the back five thing is it, in all honesty. I think in early on it was good because I felt like, as you said, he was auditioning some of the players, but I thought Tuchel was going to maybe switch it around more 4-3-3, try something else. But this back five, I don't know, I just feel like it sometimes limits you. Like having 3 centre-backs on a pitch against Callum Robinson.
Yeah? If you're
like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
I know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I know.
That's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying.
I just mean the second half, I felt like he stuck with it for too long, and it was almost like he was like, I found my system, I'm sticking with it.
But bro, do you know what? There's 2 sides to it. This for me, yeah. There's another side in terms of we always say it, yeah, and I always say it for my manager in terms of we say in situations, can you adapt? All right, cool. But at the same time, right? We've analysed the situation. This guy came in like at a random time. We know the games are coming thick and fast and everything. He probably thought, I've got enough confidence that hopefully we'll be able to maneuver something. And when the game goes, the game goes. Like, and especially with the team we were playing, like I said, Jorginho was out of that game. So you're basically a man less in terms of that. In terms of his performance, I'm not even talking about his stint because he's been good. That performance, he was out of the game. Kovacic was playing midfield by himself. So it's like, so what else am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to maneuver this? So like, but what happens now is the expectation is still the same. It just goes to show you how crazy this season is, that one game that's a blip. Spurs are 2 points behind. They messed up their opportunity. Leicester, of course, lost to City. Liverpool 2 points behind. We now have to manage this expectation of doing what we need to do against Porto, playing these other big games and bring it home. I before thought we could close in on Leicester. Now it's about making sure we shut the door behind us because it's 5 points now and I still think we're going to do it. But now there's more urgency to do it now. That's it. It gets tougher. And the thing is, he's going to do it. He's going to do it. I think he's going to do it. I'll say he's going to do it.
Do you think you're going to do it? Spurs going to do it?
No, he couldn't himself out.
West Ham game, I called us out, bro.
Oh, but you guys
we do this false dawn all the time. Remember last year?
Yeah,
we got close twice. Don't let
But I don't know.
I'm done with that.
I think
between Liverpool and Chelsea, it'll be Liverpool for me are title contenders. I mean, start of the season they were. Let's be honest. They will definitely, I think, come back into it and actually. Fixture list as well. Who have you got last couple of games?
We have.
Why are you not looking at that?
Yeah, we've got West Ham as well.
And you got West Ham. Liverpool.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, for me, Tuchel's thing, he's done well in terms of
Liverpool have only got United to play. Other than that, they're playing basically relegation sides.
Oh, they got Southampton, which might be what Hasenhüttl might try and jug them.
They might get 9-0. Southampton go one way or the other.
Crying on Klopp's by his feet.
So, bro, that's a quick point. Like, in his time, he's come in and he's done what he's had to do. Before this, I remember I highlighted 2 games in particular, and I said you can't win all your games. No, it wasn't Atletico. It was the Southampton game and the Leeds game. I said Southampton, I felt like we could have beat them. They've lost 6 games. Leeds, they're on a bad patch. We could have beat them, and it's like, but you can't win any game. With this loss, it's a mad loss. But at the end of the day, all right, cool. If we win against Porto, and we get what we need to do done in that first leg, okay, cool. The situation is still in touch. So
Porto,
it's funny because
that's when the lights start flickering a little
bit. It's going to be a walkover.
It's not.
Look, with Tuchel, right?
Porto don't make top 4.
Boy, he's failed his objective. I remember I told you. For me, like, I thought he was brought in to get top 4 and try and win a trophy. So if that happens, it's like, boy, you haven't met the criteria that I put you against. And
18-month contract as well.
Tuchel for me, bro. Tuchel for me, like I haven't been as impressed as everyone else. Do you know what I mean? Personally, I'm sorry. If I watch it, it's boring to me. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, you can say defensive, and I agree with that. At the end of the day, you've come in, and you can say it's like he's just come in and steadied the ship and trying to get results. And it's gassing the fans up, it's gassing everyone up so much. But I'm not really that impressed with it. In all honesty, I don't think it's as good as people are making out. And I think, all right, the possession thing, that's all good. Do you know what I mean? The possession, keeping the ball. But when I look at it offensively, there's nothing going on. And the only thing that I can really look at it is, all right, maybe if this summer Chelsea go and spend shitloads of money again, give this guy a war chest of money and maybe he can go and get an Mbappe or something. Obviously not Mbappe, but I'm just saying how Mbappe was freely scoring at PSG and stuff. But I look at the way he's setting up, and I said it's very much like LVG, and people are offended by that, but it is. LVG won something at Man United at the end of the day, and that's how he is. But it's very similar. Dominate the ball possession, make sure you don't concede any goals, and whoever scores. It's just like, oh, hopefully we get a goal. I'm not as impressed. I'm looking at it beyond the surface, bro. The bigger picture. Everyone's looking at it as the results. Oh, yeah, he's doing this. I'm not as impressed as you lot. I'm not as impressed at all.
The way I see it is, I've always said that there's a few things here. So one about meeting those objectives of top 4 and trying to get a trophy, which I think is firmly what he's been told. 2, it's about doing an audit of your team, which I feel like he's done a fair bit. And 3, it's about how you preparing for next year, because ultimately a lot of Chelsea fans came out and they were like,
"But can I just ask? Sorry, bro, just quick one. Yeah, in terms of
what we've bought, we should be going to the top. So that shouldn't change. We've got a better coach now, and for me, it's about, okay, how does this transition into next season? What pieces, if he needs any, because he's come out and said if he didn't have any, he could coach his team to be better. So for me, it's about, okay, where do we go from here? Because I've always said I feel like he's a good coach. I didn't think he was A-level. I didn't think he was that big guy.
Don't
but
you
again,
sack managers.
there are many of those around.
that's exactly. And I was open with that, and I always said, you know what, I will back him coming in, and he has steadied the ship. He's still on track to do what he needs to do.
He steadied the ship, but I've seen new managers come and steady loads of ships, mate. You know what I mean? I've seen that, and for me, I like that. At least you guys can say you have a system of at least at the moment, right?
You're just not impressed by it.
But it's just like when your manager comes in, you're meant to like look. By the way, Chelsea spent 200 and something million, on these players. So these are the players that are going to be at the club going forward.
Next season as well.
Who's come in? Lampard got sacked for it, but since he's come in, who can you necessarily say he's improved? I think Kante, fair enough to him, has been better under Tuchel than Lampard. Other than that, we're still talking about Werner sucks. We're still saying Havertz sucks. We're still saying Ziyech sucks. All of these guys that Lampard got the stick for because he spent the money and couldn't make them bang. Tuchel's not making them bang either. Do you know who's performing for Tuchel? Mason Mount, who was performing under Frank Lampard anyway. So I don't really understand. He's made it a little bit more defensive. He's basically gone a very, very tight defensive, or maybe let's say retain the ball so the other team can't score, which is fair enough. But as impressive as you guys, you'd think that man are flying. You think Chilwell, by the way, 50 million signing, he doesn't fancy him anymore. He fancies Alonso. And I'm not. Whoa, what's that? Did you first sign?
No, it's
your Mac. Oh, anyway, yeah, but in all honesty, but in all honesty, like if you look at it in the bigger picture, it's not as impressive as
let me ask you this question. I was about to say, in terms of,
I don't really have big expectations.
No, but I'm saying for next year, then are you? Because
next season
for me, I think it's very hard to judge something based on the parameters this year. Because at the end of the day, this is one game we're talking about. But has he come in and done?
I haven't said one thing about.
No. You're saying
West Brom, sorry.
No, you're saying what you're talking about is forget about the results, just the way the football looks.
Just look at it. Just stop.
But
always people just.
But
get
what
so
I want to
attached
ask you
results,
is, but what I want to ask you
like
is,
goals and assists.
In terms of next season, do you think that he has to change this, or do you think he can actually win stuff, or produce with how he's doing stuff?
Maybe if you go and spend hundreds of millions on like a Haaland or something. But other than that, what is he going? Is he with how he's set up? Is Werner going to go and score 30? Is Ziyech going to? Are you not meant to see these guys improve now?
But the thing is, then if they do that with a Haaland, where do all these guys that they've spent?
I don't think we sign Haaland. I'll be honest. I don't think that happens.
As you're saying, you want this year to almost be a continuation going into next year and additions.
All I'm saying is, if you're going to give Tuchel, 200 million,
I don't think he's getting 200 million.
All right, let's just say, because you guys have been linked with Haaland, who's 150 million, by the way.
I don't think he's coming. I hear you.
All right, so you gave him a Haaland, yeah? What is the difference between if they had, let's say, kept Lampard and given him 150 so he can sort out his defense? Because I don't get what you guys are doing. You're just going to give a new manager hella money
one's
and
a
who hasn't
better
improved.
Manager than
Didn't Lampard get that with Thiago Silva and
it wasn't that far off.
Mendy?
He wasn't that far off.
He got the chance and didn't.
No.
Remember, how many points? Don't forget, it was an up and down season, bro. No, 5 points separated.
No, but you have to remember, our 14. You have to remember, that 14 game run up until this 15th game is what pulled us back into this sort of.
My thing is
this area.
If it's an 18-month contract, and as you're saying, you're kind of going into next season. I think the back end of this season, maybe you actually need to look at who Chelsea need to get rid of. For me, I think too often we're looking at who Chelsea need to add, but you've had some of these players who I think some of them overlap in positions as well.
Yeah.
Where similarly, do you remember like when you had KDB, Salah, Oscar, Hazard, like a bag of number 10s, and Jose said, you know what, Mata, boom, 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 gotta go. You lot might have to do that this summer.
Listen,
if you want to go out and get that Haaland to
even stuff
but Chelsea are the best in the game.
I'm hearing.
Marina,
I didn't know Bakayoko was still registered to Chelsea. I didn't know this. I know Drinkwater's in Turkey. There's still these. We can't find close to them, so they're coming back. I don't even think. I heard someone was telling me that, Tuchel's going to have to look at these guys. I was like, he's not looking at no one.
Yeah.
All of these guys, they're gone. Even like people like we'll say all the time, Loftus-Cheek is in trouble. There's a lot of these men that are in trouble. No one's looking. Bro. No one has time to look.
Even
no
like
one has time to look
with his injury record.
I think that after this game today,
becoming now 18 months almost.
He has missed 36 games. He's missed 36 games.
We saw the brilliant patch, and we saw a player there, but it's like, are we gonna, because of a patch,
what do you always
Pulisic
say?
is guaranteed?
What do you always say? What do you always say?
Availability is the best ability, bro.
Didn't Gus Hiddink come in and win instantly, and the team were winning? Didn't Avram Grant do it? I'm just saying, bro. Like, I haven't seen anything necessarily improve from Chelsea, except from the results. I know that sounds silly. Except from the results, I haven't seen individuals look better. I haven't seen anything that makes me look
I understand
wow.
the basis.
That's all I'm saying.
I understand
I've
the
seen good
basis of what you're
hitters
saying.
that do that. That's what I'm saying.
No, the thing is, I think there's two things. I understand the basis of what you're saying, but it goes back to what I said maybe a few weeks ago. No. I don't think it's that. I don't even think it's that. It goes back to, again, production. You can probably testify to this. What do you expect a Chelsea manager to do? Get the results. So what you're saying is this is expected, which I said a few weeks ago. I said I expect Tuchel to come in and do stuff. Yeah. What you're saying is the next bit of if Chelsea want to be title challengers and do big things, it's not just about doing what's expected. It's about going above and beyond. And you're saying that in terms of the way we're playing football or the performance, he has to improve.
He has to improve those players. And the thing is,
can't run
but
away
what I'll say,
and try and just spend shitloads to someone. But
what I'll say to you now is, in terms of a season like this, I will take getting to the finish line of those objectives, and then next season, okay, a work has to happen. Because I've seen how these men have been for the whole season. I'm not expecting the man to come in and click his fingers like that. Yeah. Like, I've seen how these men have been this season. Like, I've seen, from when I'm seeing a man pass a ball like that, I know that's not something that's going to fix in one game. Yeah. That's something that, you know what? If you have to go to the Euros, we might not even get much time. But that break between, we're going to have to sort something out. That's my perception.
Are you still in the FA Cup?
Yes.
Yeah.
We've got an opportunity to potentially win. We're still in two competitions. We're still in contention for top 4. The objectives are still there.
This is the first, as you said, audition. I still think audition till the end of this season for me. Deep Champions League run. If he gets through Porto, what is that? Semis now. Like Chelsea always have a good run in the FA Cup as well. Like it
always
100%.
looks mad. And
I know what you're saying about like just like players and things like this. Yeah. But that I think is something you gauge over a longer period.
I hear that, but just like what we were just saying about Aubameyang, he'll score. But for me, it's like I feel like you don't want to turn into as long as we're winning, I'm happy. No, of course not. Of course not. No. Man United do it. Spurs are doing it. Man United are doing it. No. You don't want to turn into that, bro. It can become that very quick. That's what I'm saying. Because as soon as the results start turning, I guarantee they'll start saying what I've been saying today.
The thing is,
I bet. But I'm just saying.
Because a few weeks ago, I even came and I said, I want to see what Chelsea fans' reactions are. Because eventually, we're not going to win all our games. We're going to have to lose eventually. Some people have acted like the whole world has come down. I'm seeing Joe Cole. Joe Cole came out and said, "This isn't the Bundesliga." I'm like, bro, it's like,
I love Joe Cole on commentary. I like Joe Cole now.
They said the League One. It's like it's the one loss. Don't get me wrong. It was a mad loss, but it is the one loss. Like, we lost the battle. The war is still going on.
I mean, you guys can have a good season in the end. You can, but I'm just saying.
That was a good punch up yesterday. Like, you lot got
And the thing is,
you might need that before Porto because the complacency from the fans it might even be replicated by the players. What people are thinking Porto is gonna be a walk in the park. Now maybe this
man
is
looks like Brazil.
All right, let's go.
I saw one goal where Robertson did the screen.
Young pick and roll.
I said you are taking a piss. It was too funny. Just quickly, quick one. Production. Do you need to pause cameras and anything? How long we got? Alright, cool. Pep came out after the game and he said he's gonna remember the season forever. They're 17 points clear after a tough start, 28 clean sheets, 26 goals conceded. In terms of his titles for City, not anyone else, for City, where would this one rank for you? And for context, we've got the 100-goal season. 100 points, sorry. And then we've got the quadruple, the domestic quadruple, where he pipped Liverpool by 1 point.
Yeah.
Where would this one rank? In our opinions, where would this rank? We can rank all three of them if you want. Go on.
Would you lot consider this as a rebuilt team? Because Pep gets a lot of slack saying he inherited all these bad boy players.
This is the most of his team.
This team looks very different.
Do you know what I'll say? Do you know what I say? Even if you take away the rebuild, what you have to factor, this stat here, 28 clean sheets, 26 goals conceded. One thing that's always been labelled on Pep is tiki-taka, it's this, it's that. I've seen him actively, I can, if I go to the fixtures, I can see where the line was drawn. And it's like, okay, you know what? We need to do something. We've got it going back to basics. Yeah. So I've seen him do that. And I believe he needs credit for that. Because everything that everyone's always said is, oh, you only play this one style of football and it's because of the players there and everything. That's what it benefits you. No, he literally said, guys, we need to just take it back a step.
But he's gone back to what he knew though.
Yeah,
so
back to basics.
that's exactly what he said.
Yeah.
He said after West Brom 1-1, we played West Brom. We drew against West Brom, and he was like, "Nah, this isn't my team." So
because
clearly
we're attacking too quick, too soon.
Yeah, maybe he started
to take our time with the possession.
Yeah, maybe I don't know what it was. He started this season.
This man's talking science. I ain't even
I said, we're too horny,
Yeah,
relax.
but he might have started the season because they didn't win the league last year.
He
might
on
have
fire. It
said
was like
something. No, I don't know what he would have said, but he might have said maybe we're getting stale. Let's do something else. And then all of a sudden, it was having an even worse season. He probably thought, okay, we have to go back to the basics. And in that basics has worked for them, but it's worked in a unique way because Sterling's not firing. Jesus is not really firing. Aguero's not firing. I don't know how it's even working, bro. But it's still scoring shitloads of goals.
But blind.
Oh yeah.
Rondo
forgot about that, man.
When they get into
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
KDB, false nine, Foden, Sparkle, Cancelo's
Stones
inverted
is chipping in with
playmaker.
some random goals.
Do you know what I find?
Do
You know what I find so funny as well? Yeah, it's like which one of these seasons was the KDB injured season?
That was
18,
the Formidables.
18, 19.
That was the
That
was the second title.
Formidables,
Yeah. This one,
The what?
When they domestic.
Oh, it's
domestic quadruple, formidables. That's what they're calling it. So fair
Mhm.
play.
Centurions.
With this,
They're just giving names to everything.
for this season, of course, everyone's gonna say
You're a hater.
everyone's
You're
gonna
such a
say
hater.
Aguero
That is
doesn't play
terrible.
anyway. But at the end of the day, he's not had Aguero for the whole season. That is that's his centre forward. Let's be real, he's not had it for the whole season. Them man are still scoring goals and looking comfy and
what?
everything. Like where does it rank in the
For
three?
me,
This is
the
last.
quadruple one. Yeah.
This is still not his best one.
Even COVID era as well and everything
Nah.
involved. Having to bounce back after the
No, I
Liverpool
get
one.
it. Listen, title win's a title win. They're all good. Yeah, I mean, but we're gonna remember literally the term Centurions forever.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be solidified. Yeah, I mean, but for me, I'm not calling them the Formidables, but for me, that is the best one because obviously a domestic treble came with it. Not only that, it's the actual title race this season. Again, they ran away. You know what I mean? United flipping out are the teams that are closest to it. And then the first one, it was United again. You know what I mean? But Liverpool, that was a serious title contender, and that was the Champions League winners, Liverpool. So they picked the Champions League winners, and the way they did it, they had to go on like a. I might be wrong.
January onwards,
check, yeah, but it might have been a 16-game win
I think it was 18
streak.
or 19. But
All I know is
do
they
you know-
broke
do you know-
the Premier League
do you know
record
what's so
to get
crazy
there.
about it? Yeah.
So
Where did that streak start? What game did they have to
I think they
win?
beat Liverpool, right?
They had to beat Liverpool.
yeah.
I don't know if
We had
that's
that
where it
conversation.
started. Is
And
that where
we
it
said
started? I
here,
don't know if that's where it
we said here, we said if Klopp doesn't win that game, he might regret. I remember we said it here.
Exactly.
Stone's clearance.
Yep, that John Stones game
Yep.
clutch as hell. But if you look at it, right, that
takes
to
balls.
go on that, they literally had to be perfect because Liverpool were perfect. We say you bottled it, but Liverpool were pretty much perfect as well. They flipping got 97 points. These guys got 98 after doing 100. I'm always more impressed at the retaining than doing it the first time because we've seen the Invincibles win a league. How did you retain it? You didn't. What about Liverpool this season? How do you retain? You didn't. It's much harder to retain than win the first time.
Do you know?
So for me, I'll say the 18-19 season's his best trophy.
I would
City.
go that and then probably Centurions and then this. But do you know what's so funny? Because between those back-to-back seasons, someone will correct us if I'm wrong. I think they only lost, was it 4 or 5 games?
Who?
In those two seasons.
Probably. I don't know how
In
much
those
they
two
lost in the
seasons.
Victorian season.
Yeah,
Liverpool
because Liverpool went, was it 1?
Yeah.
And then the next
1
season-
over 2 years or some shit like that.
Yeah. But it was like, because for me, it's like they set the standard because Liverpool then had to go and do what they did. And I always have a thing for people that set the standard. It's like back when United were doing their thing, it was like, we have to top that. So when we were seeing the 97 points and then all of this, remember what we said at the beginning of the season? This season might be the year, City are flying again. But we thought this would be the year where the point would drop down maybe by 10 points because that high performance era was crazy. And for them to do that in a 2-legged race is just...
Yeah, the only reason why I wouldn't do it is because I'm not really somebody that cares too much about points. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, you won the league with 80 points, so it means that you're not as good as... I don't really care about
that's
that.
not
But
what I'm saying.
but I'm saying the only reason is because, this season, Man City just need to get to 80 85 points,
And they can call it
and it's wrapped. They'll finish the league with about, I think it's about 4 games to spare. It's a sick title win, but the competition is extremely weak. Extremely weak.
I feel like that second one you just have to give it to them. They set a new standard. Back to backs.
Yeah.
I would say that's the best one.
Which one?
The Formidables.
Right, let's stop the Formidables thing. Yeah, there's only 2 titles: Centurions and Invincibles. Let's stop. What's Formidables, bro? Like,
bro, you got
man.
Give it the name
domestic
it's been given,
That's
man.
it.
Was
man.
it quadruple? Was it?
No, it was domestic.
Community
domestic
Shield
champion.
included. That's like they try to shamelessly throw that in.
What?
Yeah.
Nah, stop it, man.
That's the
Stop
first
it.
domestic
Or
trophies,
no,
bro.
it's the treble winners. It's the treble winners, Centurions and Invincibles. Those are the only 3 titled names, man. Let's stop Formidables, bro. That's not sticking, fam.
That's
What the hell?
hilarious. Very quickly, of course, under 21s happened. We had a conversation about where the English sort of crop of talent rank, and lo and behold, they got dumped out.
Classic England.
They got dumped out very quickly because there's been loads of conversations about this in terms of how much we need to look at the players, how much do we need to look at the management. I have a few thoughts on this, but where do you guys stand on just the whole England under 21 discussion and what happens now?
Bro, for me, it's England. I wonder if England built a whole facility, St. George's Park. I wonder what they built it for. Do you actually care about the talents in your country? You built a shiny facility, and then I'm not going to talk about Gareth Southgate, but you put A.D. Boothroyd in charge of what you would probably say is the best current crop of young players England have had collectively in years. Yeah, I'm trying to say in a long time, you'll probably say this is the best ones. And we can't turn around and try and say, no, this person's dead, this wasn't there. Because listen, I've heard everyone screaming and raving about James Maddison, about Foden, everything, every week, wherever they do at their clubs. All of a sudden, A.D. Boothroyd is in charge of them. And I know those weren't the players this time, but it was the Hudsons. And these players suck, bro. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And do you know what it is? Simply, when you looked at it, sometimes I feel like maybe I need to get my coaching badges, and all of us need to get our coaching badges. No, I'm being serious because I don't see how we can. I don't see how we can look at things so obviously and know this is gonna go wrong, and the manager can't. Why are you so? Listen, what you said was a good point, and you said it, I think, on Josh Locust. Yeah, you said basically. Obviously, a manager for England, a coach should be a coach. For unders, it should be about improving players. It should be about improving.
The whole point is about progression of to not beat around the bush. If you look at that Spain team, that German team, everything, all of these legacy teams, I think even Brazil to a certain extent, if I remember properly, Italians, old teams, when you had Cannavaro played under 21s and everything. When you've got under 21 football, it's almost like academy football. You're supposed to have a coach that kind of thinks, you know what, this is how you're going to play in the first team.
Get us Jody Morris.
You're going to be like together as a cohesive unit. I don't care what 4 corners of the world you're coming from your club teams. We're going to play a certain way. We're going to maximize. And
someone who coaches and develops.
But it's about coaching. It's not about thinking, you know what, we've got 3 games, 4. If I just manage to edge past the first one,
man, are doing as long as we win for under 21s. You're playing 5 at the back. You're playing Lloyd Kelly. I don't want to pick him out. Why he's playing, I have no idea.
The best teams,
I have no idea.
Eze and Jones on bench.
And then the first time Eze and Jones play, what happens? England win, but now you've got to win by 2 goals
in that tournament. So Portugal, their coach has been there for 10 years doing the same thing. Switzerland, they haven't got like the ballers that England have got, but they're coached in a way that's like, okay, you know what? This is what's going to happen. And what happens is at their national level, they don't have the players that are going to go and win titles, but they're good international teams because, you know, they've got a unit and they understand it and they've been inbred. Like, I remember when they used to joke about, is it Bojan? They're saying that he was a sub from under 8 level. And that whole unit was the same, going through club and international, and they kept it. That's why England at national level can't really do anything because it's a bunch of players just coming together.
Yeah. But it's not, bro. It's mismanaged. For me, it's
cohesive unit.
Like, bro, that's if you look at any team that's won that succeeded, like to a certain extent, it's there because you know how to play with each other.
But then is
you
that
know
not
the identity?
Is this crop not meant to be the same under 17 crop that won the World Cup?
No.
No, it's not the same club because
so where did that line break up though?
Yeah, because Brewster's bums it. Brewster's bumming it. Then you got Foden who's excelling.
Yeah.
Cho is in a midlife crisis right now. So it's kind of like a couple man.
You know, in terms of St. George's, in terms of the mission, in terms of what's going on, there's not a clear thing. It goes back to what you said about Bellingham. If Bellingham was going to be involved somewhat, hear what I'm saying? If he was going to be involved, like, and you could see something like, cool, but he could still go to Euros and have played and helped these guys through that.
England are England, it's all miss. It's bro.
Yeah, because you got to remember with this year, it was a group stage. It was a group stage.
Stay in the competition. I'm not sure.
No. They would have been able to go. They've been able to go. There's bare man that gonna go. You can. Yeah. It's gonna be like flipping Premier League 2 and going into thing. You can go. It's under 21s. You're not cup tied. It's a Euro Championship. If you're good enough, they'll put you up.
For me, it's mismanagement, man. Like for exactly what you're saying. Like if England actually care about the nation as actual footballing nation, then stuff like playing Jude Bellingham should have went and starred in them 3 games. He should have went and set himself apart from his age mates. He playing 20 minutes against San Marino. He played 20 minutes against San Marino and sat on the bench for the rest of the whole time while his age mates bounced out of the Euro Championships, bro. It doesn't make sense. And people are saying experience. What's more valuable? Tournament experience or sitting on the bench and rubbing shoulders with Raheem Sterling and Harry Kane?
On that point,
I don't get it. Like, he's go and play football.
But
you know what I mean?
To summarize your
the under 21s, how many talents have come through that and actually made their names coming through that?
100%. But
could have just been another
even
one.
away from that point, the real point here is how many English young players, actually have thorough tournament experience.
That's what I'm saying.
Not a lot because they don't play in these tournaments. And don't get me wrong here. I understand that sometimes when your best players are young players, you might have to push them through. But if they're not playing, they didn't feature. Did Saka these guys weren't featuring?
Here's the thing then though.
But that's what I'm saying in general. Are we going to see these guys feature? Are we going to see Bellingham start games at Euros?
No, he's not even going to. I'll be surprised if he plays 15 minutes.
But imagine if you kept them in that crop where the under 20s one now. They go on and win that.
Exactly.
And then the next tournament cycle, like with the
Ozil,
Federation.
And that's where it falls up though, because that's where Germany and Spain, where they kept them through. And even like the guys like Foden, I know he's excelling, but how many options do England have in that position? Does he even have to be there for those 3 games if you put him down for the under 21s?
It's not a disrespect playing for under 21s. I don't care what anyone says. If you play for a top nation, it's not a disrespecting. I'm seeing Pedro. I don't know how to pronounce his surname. He's killing for Portuguese guy.
Oh no, I thought you meant
the
new
Spanish Bruno. He's killing it. He's there. I'm seeing Trincao. I'm seeing absolute ballers, that could easily play for their first teams, and they're there. Why? Because their nations understand that. You know what? It's not about today. It's about tomorrow.
Only
it's
in
about
England do they get excited when you're 18, 19 after a couple games, and they'll call you up to the first team.
And don't get me wrong. Some players it makes sense.
What's his projection?
Some players it will make sense.
But the thing is, obviously with some players, if you've got a Rooney and Owen and Mbappe or whatever, then of course they're gonna go. I would keep Foden out of it. He played under 17. He won the Golden Ball. He's proven. You know what I mean? He's doing his thing. I don't mind about Foden. But when you have Bellingham's, he should be going. You know what I mean? There's no excuse for Bellingham. But listen, Bellingham's not the reason why England didn't win. The reason why England didn't win for me is solely down to, bro, people might say the player's overrated. That's perfectly fine. I don't know who in that squad, who's extremely rated in that squad. I don't even really know. I'm trying to think. Maybe Hudson's the only one. He was all right in the first game. But for me, it's mismanagement, man. You can't be, why are you playing 2 defensive midfielders in a Euro under 21 championship when your best players, you've got Curtis Jones playing the Champions League football. You've got Eze, he's probably the best technical player in that whole squad, and them 2 are sitting on the bench. Them type of decisions don't make sense. He's a failed Coventry manager. He's a failed Northampton manager. Well. For me, it's negligence. When I see it like that, it's just negligence. And the reason why I just said, hey, look, throw a name like Jody Morris in there, somebody that knows how to work with young players, is a football coach, and it's very, very good experience, bro. England managers, look at the way everyone looks for the next England manager to be, go get Eddie Howe, get this person. It doesn't have to be like that. That's why I understand the progression for Southgate. But the only thing about Southgate is that it's never really been that impressive. But someone like Jody Morris, we've all watched the Chelsea youth teams. Fantastic, bro. Yeah. We've all watched it. I love the way they played. Familiar with some of them. Now, if you look at him, imagine if he went to England under 21s. Yeah. did a decent little job. That could be the next England manager, bro.
Yeah.
That's how it could be. It doesn't have to be
someone who's a man manager. Like
exactly.
It's just coaches.
That's how you progress stuff.
Look
at how Joachim, what is it? Joachim Low
with him more than Lampard.
Yeah. No, of course, because he's a coach. For me, I think the bottom line of it is, at that level, it's not about management. You need a coach. Like, I see other national teams, that when it's like national team time, the coaches of some of the best teams go and coach in that setup. Like, I'm seeing Van Nistelrooy like going to coach like Holland and everything, then go back to his PSV or anything. Like,
but I don't know what.
No, I'm saying in terms of no. In terms of he's there. No, not as in like. I'm saying as a coach. I'm saying he's going in and it's like we're getting coaches around. It's not about trying to get the best manager to manage the team.
The best examples is when Klinsmann was manager of Germany and in Jürgen Low whatever was the assistant, and then Flick was the assistant for Low, and now he's gone on to Bayern. So you've got good setups there. I think they're trying to pitch Lampard, but for me, Jody Morris, listen, if he's watching England under 21 manager, bro,
people that have aspirations of like management of clubs and everything, that's going to be a short thing. You don't need them. Like a coach at that level is like an academy coach. I'm just here for the well-being of these guys to develop.
Let
the managers go and be managers.
You know, bro, AD Bruford came out, talked about, look at the players that, as if he's a scout. Like, what are you talking about? Man said like he justified
like a showcase.
Bro, what's he on about, man?
Listen, these really quick one. We've got a few minutes left. Champ and criminal of the week or dud of the week. My champs are Big Sam and Steve Bruce. Both of them got big results this weekend. In
Steve Bruce, bro, you've been trying to give this guy flowers all season.
No.
He's been trying to give.
Do you know I'm giving him flowers? Let me give him flowers.
He's about to get
a man
sacked.
told Joe Willock, listen, go on the pitch,
Joe
look
Willock,
busy.
I can even hear more.
No, a man said, go on. No, Joe Willock literally came out and said Steve Bruce told him.
He's trying
go
to
on the
still
pitch.
fight it.
Listen, go on the pitch, look busy and try and grab us a goal. And it happened. Come on, man. Come on. That is Sunday League heritage. Come on, man. Against Jersey, they called it El Fam, man said, go on, look busy, and try and grab a goal. Oh my gosh! In the Premier League, that is hilarious.
Steve Bruce,
on the weekend that grassroots returned, that is heritage. You're talking about real men. That is pie and mash.
Listen.
Football right there. Anyway, that's
my champ. I'd say Mateus Pereira and Callum Robinson.
Yep. That man. You know, all of these 5 goals are coming against Chelsea. They've scored 8 goals against Chelsea this season. Like 33% of their goals against Chelsea. They're doing to us. They're doing to us what Bournemouth did to us like a couple seasons ago when they gave us 4 home, 4 away. It's too much.
My champ of the week is, which is a funny one. My champ of the week is actually going to be Harry Kane, and let me tell you why I'm giving it to Harry Kane, because I think this week, for me, this week, he's secured. I think he should be the player of the year. I think this week, when you look at it, top goal scorer, top assister. If we're talking about put everything that you need to put into what a player of the year is, valuable for your team. Other than, in my opinion, like a Grealish and Bruno, most valuable player to his team. Goals, he's got the goals, he's got the assists, he's got for me, he's got everything to be a worthy player of the year. So what is it? 49 goals and assists in 49 games this season. For me, I'll give it.
Look at this Kane campaign.
Cool, quick one. Criminal.
I ain't got no criminal.
What happened?
Ain't been no criminals. It's been international.
I was gonna say with all that. I was gonna say that
Joachim Low for getting battered by Macedonia.
Yeah. There's that. I was gonna give it for Brentford for bottling again. They're like 8 points off now. Dortmund for being 7 points off.
The racism
that happened, and it's not a dud thing, but I'm opening a case on Mina because this is I'm opening a case on Mina. Man's traveling in a pandemic and saying me and my client Paul Heyman, man like Paul Heyman, you know,
that's bossy, fam.
Man like Paul Heyman, me and my client.
For me, 20 mil for his dad, and then 30 mil. Man said 60 mil before you even.
I'm opening a case because
I love that.
Some of his practices,
I can't lie. I'm gonna soon have to start loading up on Haaland. You know, them type of demands as a 20-year-old fan. I don't rate it, but we
it's his people.
I'm watching very closely.
Hey, representatives, bro.
Listen,
watching very
and on
closely.
that bombshell, listen, another episode. We're out. Like, share, subscribe, follow the personals. Make sure you watch all of the other shows, all the content. Fuad, Kadani, Culture Comes, Mayowa, Kodri, you already know what time it is. Like, share, subscribe. Hold tight, Manscaped. 20% off. I'm out.